Hello beautiful people, how are you doing from wherever you're watching from? Like I promised, I will be showing you how to make these baby caps. The other time I said I'll be showing you how to make a baby cap without so much investment. So this video will be all about that. As you can see, I have 3 colors of fabric here, and it's more like a sweat fabric and it's quite stretchy, and I'll be using it for the making of the scarves. Hello, so what I'm going to do, I'll be using a chalk, a tape rule, and a scissors. I also have a shear scissors with me. So remember I told you that we need little or no investment in the production of this cap. So the fabric I'm using is a one-way stretchy fabric. It's stretching just on one side, and the way I bought this fabric is already on fold. So basically what I'll just do is fold once this way, or better still, I think it's better to just cut open the fabric. Let's just cut open the fabric from this end. I'll cut it open. So I'm just trying to open up the fabric. So here we have it. The fabric has been cut open, so it's no longer on fold. Now I'm going to just fold the fabric this way. I try to arrange it properly, make sure it's well aligned, neatly placed. So I try to neaten it up, make sure it's well aligned. Then what I'll be doing now is trying to get a measurement for it. So the measurement I'm taking now is 10.5 to 11 inches by 15 inches. Normally the measurement is not supposed to be up to that, but because I'm trying to cut out directly from the fabric. But do note, if you want to cut out the fabric and save yourself the stress, just cut 18 inches by 15 inches. 18 on the horizontal, 15 on the vertical, and that 15 must be the stretchy part of the fabric. If your fabric is a one-way stretchy fabric, then make sure the 15 is on the stretchy part, because that's the part that will be sitting on the edge. So that is what I'm trying to do now, although my own is excess because it's a video. I need to show you the how I carve it out, and you can't understand it clearly unless I had some excesses to it. So now here we have it. Remember I told you that your own measurement must be, if you're going to cut out something like this, just cut out 18 inches by 15 inches. So the 18 is the horizontal axis. So while it's open, the measurement is 15 by 18 inches. So on fold, we are going to have 7.5 by 9 inches. 7.5 by 9 inches. That's a standard measurement for a baby toddler size. That's the standard measurement. So like I said, let me show you again. So what I'll be doing right now is to carve out the shape of the cap. So I'll be carving out the shape of the cap now. So what I'm doing right now is measuring 7.5 inches. 7.5 inches will be along the stretchy part. The half on it is for the gathering of the cap. Now here I'm measuring 9 inches. 9 inches is going to be along the part of the cap that is not stretchy. 9 inches will be along the part of the cap that is not stretchy. So I'm going to measure 9 inches all through. Horizontally, I'll measure 9 inches all through. Now I've been able to. So I've gotten my 9 inches all through. So I'm trying to confirm the measurements. I've gotten my 9 inches all through. You know, vertically the measurement is 7.5. I'm trying to get that precision here. So at that point where the 9 inches and 7.5 inches met at the edges, I'm going to go in by 2 inches. I'm going to go in by an arc of 2 inches. So that is what I'm trying to mark out there. From that closure, I'm going to go in by 2 inches, because it's at that point of 2 inches that I'm going to form the curve. You see me, I'm trying to trace out the curve from there. I will trace it to the horizontal and the vertical axis to form a curve. I'm not sure my chalk is very clear here, but
With the way
just
I am
make sure it's
positioning my
curved
hand, you
and
should
neat.
be able to figure out what I'm
So
trying to do.
I'm
I'll try my
place
best
it out now.
to.
Sorry, my chalk is
Okay,
not
you
so
can see
clear,
from the
but if you
video
look
that
at it very
I've
well,
tried
I've
to
been able to
carve
achieve
out
the
the
arc
shape of the
by
cap
coming
by
in by
going
two
in by
inches.
2
I've been able to achieve that arc. So that is what I want to get, and I'm going to pick my pinking shear. That's my zigzag scissors up, and I'm going to cut it from all the chalked parts. The reason why I'm using a pinking shear is so that I will have a neat finish. When you use a pinking shear, your work is neater. So now I've cut it out. This is it. Still unfold, but just folded to the horizontal axis. So this is it opened up, and I'm trying to thread my needle here. Threading my needle is it is important to make sure we thread the needle almost 3 times so that the thread is very thick, because depending on the fabric, if it's not thick enough and we are just gathering it, we are gathering the cap, if it's not thick enough, the cap will cut and it will scatter, the gather will scatter before you start enjoying the wearing of the cap. So it's important to make sure that the thread is thick enough for this gather. Now we are going to gather from that edge that I started to the next edge. The cap is going to meet from the beginning here to the next edge, because we are trying to form a more like a knot here. So I'm showing you, this is a running stitch, and we are going to make sure as much as possible that the gather is very tight, very closely gathered and very tight. So if you rush with your gather, you are not going to like the end product of what you do. So just make sure you are gathering properly, not too big and not too tiny. You can see very well from the way I'm doing my own gathering here, not too big and not too tiny. That one will give a better look once we are done with it. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to gather, and I intentionally didn't trim this part of the video so that you can see the way the whole process of gathering went, because that's going to show how your cap will form and sit properly when you're about to put the design on it. So this is me here. I've been able to gather the cap all through. I've been able to gather it, so I want to join it to the other end of the cap to form a knot, and that's what I'm doing here. And it's important I make sure the knot is very tight, because if it's not tight, the design we are putting on it will not sit down properly, and then it will not give this look that it's supposed to give, this gathered look. So that's what I'm trying to achieve here. I'm trying to tighten up the net so that it's well knotted. So that's what I'm doing here. But along the line, because it's a video I'm trying to make, I actually forgot to wear my thimble. Most times when we do needlework, I usually wear a thimble to cover my thumb or fingers, because most times when we do needlework, we tend to injure ourselves with the needle. So I was just trying to, because I injured myself, so I was trying to clean it up so that it doesn't stain the cap. So here we have it, me trying to tighten up the knot. So that's all about that. I've tightened it up, and you can see that the cap is almost formed. Apart from the fact that we have not put the design on it, it's almost formed. So this is it. This is what it looks like without a sewing machine. You can achieve this easily. So I tell you, when you buy fabric and you start with this method, along the line you can get machine for the other method. So this is a jersey fabric, which is a fabric I prefer to use for babies because it's soft and lush and very stretchy. Like the normal 1 year measurement, a 4-year-old can wear it if you use this fabric. So when you go to market, you can ask for jersey fabric if you prefer to use a fabric like this. This other fabric is also good, but I think my customer demands for that when they want to use it for, depending on the weather. So now I'm trying to show you how to make the cap. This is a sew method of the cap. I showed you a no sew method before, but now I'm showing you a sew method now, because this one will be using a machine, and then this one will not be using as much fabric as the previous method, because we are just going to fold once in this method. We are just going to be folding once in this method. So this is me trying to cut out the measurements for the cap here, because like I said the other time, we used 18 by, I said it's proper to use 18 by 15 for the standard 0 to 1 year old cap. You will know along the line how to manage the measurement, but that's a standard measurement. But here now I'll be using 11 by 15 inches. That's what we'll be needing. So on fold we are going to have 11 by 7.5. Currently my material is on fold now, so I'm going to be cutting out 11 by 7.5, because that 7.5 is going to be where the head will sit, and the half on it is just the gathering allowance. So basically we just need 7, which when we open we are going to have 14, so as the circumference of the head. So the average a newborn baby's head is like 12 to 13. So if you should, I will be showing you a chart later that you will use, but most times to be on the safe side, I always give them a bigger side, because they want to grow into it. But if you are cutting and the customer specifically told you that it's for newborn, instead of 14 you can use like 13 inches. So now I've cut it out. I have 11 by 15. On fold here it is 11 by 7.5. So when we open it up, we have 11 by 15 inches, which is what I'm trying to show you here. So this is 11 inches, and the vertical is 15 inches, which is the stretchy part of the fabric. So now what we are going to be doing is that we are going to fold the fabric into 2. Remember the other method, it was folded 2 times, but this one will be folded once, which is into 2 here. Now the excess, the difference between this and the other fabric is that we have an excess that we added to the measurement here. You know that time it was 9 inches, but now we are using 11 because the extra 2 on the measurement will be used to fold the base of the cap, so that the base is neat. So now I've come in by 2 inches like I showed you the other time. At that point where they meet, I came in by 2 inches. So I'm going to also form an arc the way I showed you the last time. I'm also going to form an arc. So the arc does not need to be sharp like I said before. Just like when you are trying to trace your armhole, let it be just rough and not too sharp. So you are going to form this arc, which I'm showing you now. So the excess from that point is what we are going to be cutting out. So we'll cut out the excess from the point, so that we can have our precise measurements. Now this is me after I have formed the arc. I have traced out the 2 inches away. Now this is the proper shape a cap should have. Now these edges is what I'm going to fold in. Remember there's 2 inch extra on it. I said 11 inches, so there's 2 inches extra on it. That's what we'll be folding in. So I'm going to put in 1/2 inch, then 1.5. That will be where the machine is going to sit. So that's what I'm showing you here. So we'll be using a zigzag machine, a tabletop machine that has zigzag. We sew on that edges, because if we use a straight stitch, it's going to be cutting. So most times when we sew cap, we don't use a straight stitch for it. It will be the thread will be cutting, and you won't like the end result. So this is me trying to show you what it looks like after I have used zigzag stitch to sew it. Now look at it. This part was zigzagged all through, and from there we are going to pick our needle and thread just like we did previously in the other design. We are going to sew from one edge to the other edge. which is what I'm trying to show you here. So we are going to sew from that edge to the other edge of the cap, and we are going to knot it just the way I showed you previously. So I'm going to be showing you another cap that is already finished. I'm trying to make this video as short as possible so that I don't bore you with it. So this is a cap that I have already gathered. Look at the zigzag stitch. Mind you, if you don't have a machine, you can use a straight stitch, but I'm telling you, it's not going to last. The stitches will be cutting out. So if you want to try for yourself or for your children, you can use a straight stitch when nobody will query your sewing. But if you want to sell out, it's better to use a zigzag stitch. So this is the cap, the finished look of the cap after sewing, and this is the previous one I showed you. Now the major difference about the two is that one does not need a machine and one needs a machine. So the one that needs a machine does not use as much fabric as the one that does not use a machine. You understand? But I tell you, this business is a very lucrative business, because you can make like 2 or 3 caps from a yard of fabric, and you sell even for more than the price of the fabric. So this is a very good business.